Time to start the series. First one-day international scheduled to play on January 26 at Napier. Graham Cowan and Steve Woodward was appointed as the field umpires. This beautiful McLean Park ground was not a new place for Sri Lanka. In their first ever New Zealand tour they played their second one-day in this venue under the captaincy of Duleep Mendes. They managed to score only 167 for 8 in the 50 overs. Number 9 batsman Somachandra de Silva was the highest scorer with 37 runs. In reply, New Zealand easily passed the winning score in the 37th over, only losing 3 wickets. Crow brothers, Jeff and Martin scored 46 and 43 respectively. And Martin Crow was adjudicated as the man of the match. New Zealand team introduced a well-balanced side. Richard Reid and John Wright to open the innings. Then they have a solid batting lineup starting from skipper Martin Crow, Andrew Jones, Mark Greatbatch. All-rounders, Chris Harris and Gavin Larson. Pacemen Chris Pringle, Danny Morrison and Willie Watson. Ian Smith to keep wickets. New Zealand made 4 changes from their last match which they played against Australia in the Benson and Hedges World Series second final. They dropped Ken Rutherford, Rod Letham, Brian Young, and Richard Petrie from the side and brought back Mark Greatbatch, Chris Harris, Ian Smith and Willie Watson. Sri Lanka too introduced a good side. In their lineup, Charith Senanayak and Hashan Tilakaratne to open the innings. Asanka Gurusinha, Aravinda de Silva, skipper Arjuna Ranatunga, Roshan Mahanama and Sanath Jayasuriya to strengthen the middle order. Ashoka de Silva to play as the spin all-rounder. Followed by their medium pace attack of Graham Labrui, Rumesh Ratnayak, and Champaka Ramanayak. They made just one change from their playing 11 in the Asia Cup final. Off-spinner Jayananda Warnayura was replaced with Ashoka de Silva in this game. New Zealand skipper Martin Crow won the toss and he decided to field first.
But that pitched round about middle and leg, bounced a lot and left him. It was a good delivery and perhaps he would have missed that one if it had been early in his innings. But starting to see it more, he was able to follow it across and take the outside edge in a very straightforward catch for Ian Smith.
That's a powerful stroke. Nicely placed too by Gurusinghe, and that's a boundary as Larson straight outside the off stump.
Well, that's an indication of where you don't bowl to Asanka Gurusinghe, because he played that very, very well indeed. It was too short, too wide, and he picked the gap beautifully. He hit the ball very strongly. Moved onto the front foot first, then saw that it was short, and back he went, beautifully balanced.
He's got this one all right. He's got a very fine, and he'll get 4 runs for it. Certainly not out of the textbook, but effective enough. There's no first slip now, and Hashan picks up 4 runs off Larson.
Well, he can't afford to get down there. I was just saying that he's got a lovely line on about off stump going further away, but that one is straight down leg, Glenn, and Gurusinghe picked it up beautifully.
Now this is more like the way I bowled actually.
Down leg side and slow and hit for 4.
Yeah, similar pace. He might be just a little sharper than I was.
Oh. Delight for Gavin Larson. And the end of Hashan. Bowled Larson for 26.
Because he's tried to hit this on the up, and it's a really good delivery. It just shows if you can get it on target. The pitch is doing something. It pitches quite a bit outside off stump, frees him up. He tries to hit it on the up and therefore creates that gap between bat and pad, and through it goes and knocks over off.
Well, that's a real swing and a heave from LeBroy. Appeal from Morrison and Crow, but Ian Smith, who took the alleged catch, he didn't think it was touched.
Zealand feeling pretty good. Here's Chris Pringle now bowling to Ranatunga. That's a bold shot. Plenty of wood on that one, and that's coming right down to where we're sitting. That's pretty solid stuff too. Oh, that's a huge six. Graham LeBroy. About 3 rows back into the new Harris stand. Good bit of fielding by some spectators up there. Fine bowler that he is, Chris Pringle has got to expect a bit of tap towards the end of a 50-over innings. Short boundaries, of course, out through the extra cover area, which has helped LeBroy. Got a bit of width, made width for himself, big swing of the arms. It's gone again, this time on the leg side. And well stopped, John Wright.
LeBroy goes again, it's in the air, and Rutherford drops it. Not perhaps as easy as it looked. It was spinning its way down. And it went in and out again. High in the air.
And might be safe.
Placed it perfectly, really. Runner-Tunga is out after quite a lengthy stay, bowled by Pringle for 29. So with just 1 over, 6 balls to go, Sri Lanka 171 for 8.
And well done, Chris Pringle, too. A lot of fancy footwork there, trying to guide the ball, as he has during the whole of his innings. He's had 57 balls and missed that one, and to his misfortune, it happened to be straight. Disappointing for Runner-Tunga, but he's carried them through to the last over.
Yes, they take a single off the last ball, so indeed it will be 177. Sri Lanka finished their 50 overs at 177 for 8. And New Zealand will need to score 178 runs to win this Bank of New Zealand Cup match here.
Sri Lanka made a slow but solid start. 2 openers Charitha and Hashna put up 41 for the first wicket. After Charith departs for 26, Ashoka came to the middle and he put another 46 runs with Hashan for the second wicket. Hashan scored 26 off 75 with 2 fours and departs as the second wicket. Aravinda, not last long and gone for 6. Sooner Ashoka fall for 28. Remaining 2 middle-order bats, Rumesh and Ashoka went cheaply, so scoreboard says 6 for 114. Ashoka went for 11 next, and soon after his wicket Labrui walks in and start attacking New Zealand bowlers. He and Arjuna put much needed 40 for the 8th wicket. So, after 50 overs, Sri Lankan scoreboards say 8 for 177. They bit struggle to score big shots. In their 50 overs they managed to hit just 6 boundaries. All 5 Kiwis bowled beautifully and Pringle and Larson took 2 wickets each.
He's gone this time. Wright uses his feet. Well bowled, bowled it beautifully. And he's caught behind point by Ratnayaka. It was Rumesh Ratnayaka made the catch. So Wright caught Ratnayaka, bowled Ashoka for 64.
Well, Wright's charged again, and generally he's been able to hit it down to mid-off and mid-on and get at least a single. There, this one just skidded on with the arm a little bit. It was a bit wide of him, wide of off stump, and he didn't get close enough to it. Still tried to force it. It took an outside edge and went to Rumesh Ratnayaka. So Wright's out, and it just makes a little bit of a difference to this game now for Sri Lanka.
126 for 3.
And Smith now on strike, and he's got 2 slips in with Sri Lanka.
Oh, he's gone first ball. More bounce, and Ian Smith, from the first ball that he receives, gets probably the second nastiest ball of the day, and he's gone.
Well, it's certainly a nasty delivery. That's really taken off. Let's watch the bounce here. He digs it in slightly short of a length, but you saw Smithy there just raise himself up. The ball flew off the outside edge and well taken by the keeper.
Oh, he's found the gap. It was in the air. But Greatbatch manages to find that gap. A big chase for that very quick man, Jayasuriya. 2 runs to Greatbatch. Well, Greatbatch waited for the slower ball, clipped it into the covers, and Aravinda can't prevent the 2 runs taken.
That was a better shot from Greatbatch there. He checked it, got his foot across to it, and just leant on it through the covers for a very controlled 2.
Quicker ball, hit well. Greatbatch can give it away. He doesn't need to run. The crowd tells it. Didn't hit it as well as he'd like, but he hit it in the gap and he kept it on the ground, and it's 149 for 4.
Yes, he'd be pleased with that one. Certainly got hold of it, and on the slow outfield it still made it across the boundary comfortably. Enough width there for him to clip it in front of point for 4.
Down the leg side, a bat, and at the second grab, Hashan Tilakaratne made the catch. Ashoka has his second wicket. He is 2 for 33 now, and when the wicket fell, it was 153 for 5.
Well, that's a big bold hit by Mark Greatbatch. Should net him a couple. So New Zealand's edging all the time closer to victory. 178 is their target. Good shot by Chris Harris. Has he got enough juice on to get to that boundary rope? It would appear not. Hopefully fielding away down at long on. Senamaika with the big chase, and they ran 3.
Oh, that's good running between the 2 of them. Harris is very quick, and he's spurred Greatbatch into it.
Yes, and that's an example of it not really being scoreable from, or not easily, and yet he's pushed it away through the gap and still scored 2 from what normally would be a dot ball. So 172 for 5.
Now it's Ratnayaka to Greatbatch. Oh, he's found that gap again. He's found it a lot today, and that was from the back foot. They think about the second, slide a wee bit, the third rather, slip a wee bit and decline it. But that means that Greatbatch is starting to stroke the ball so much better now. From the back foot he went, cracked the ball through the gap. It's 174 as Greatbatch goes through the gap again. And that's through to the boundary. 174 becomes 178, and Greatbatch has brought the game to a conclusion in the 43rd over. Greatbatch 29 not out. Harris is 11 not out. New Zealand are 100.
New Zealand start their innings in solid manner. Both openers put up 46 runs for the first wicket, then Rumesh took the wicket of Wright. After adding just 3 runs to his total, last-time man of the match of the venue, Martin Crowe goes for catch behind to Champika. Jones joined the in-form batsman Wright and they lift the score by 63 runs. At the score of 126, John Wright departs for 64 and he hit 6 fours of his 131 minutes long innings and faces 113 balls. Smith, who got promoted, goes next in his first ball for a duck. Greatbatch came next and raised the total to 153, then Jones departs for 29. Harris joined with Greatbatch and they both guide New Zealand to victory without causing further damage. So, in 42.3 overs, Kiwis achieve the target, only losing 5 wickets. From bowling point of view, both Rumesh and Ashoka took 2 wickets each. For the only 50 in the game, John Wright was adjudicated as the man of the match. This is the first 50 in this venue in between these 2 teams. Also, this is 23rd 50. And his second against Sri Lanka, bypassing his previous best of 61 which he scored at Adelaide in 1988. Also, this is the third 50-plus score by a Kiwi batsman in New Zealand against Sri Lanka. Wright's achievement lay the foundation to New Zealand to win the first game by 5 wickets. Let's find out what happened in the second one-day international in our next episode.